Welcome back. All right, so as we wind down the playoff histories for each team from 1999-2000 through 2020-2021, and for the record, the only ones left are Columbus and Toronto. I've got that on the board here just to remind myself. So we're at Colorado, and I've chosen to wear their third jersey. I've got the third jersey logo, and of course the hat to match. So we're all set. 1999-2000, a time before they had this set. 42, 28, 11. They were a powerhouse in the league at this point in time. 42, 28, 11, and 1. First round, they beat the Phoenix Coyotes in 5. Second round, they beat Detroit in 5. Very impressive run that then gets stopped by the Dallas Stars in 7. Dallas trying for the back-to-back cup wins. They would fall short against New Jersey, but they beat Colorado. Joe Sakic, that year, 60 games, leads them in scoring with 28 goals, 53 assists for 81 points. In 17 playoff games, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points. A little less effective than usual in the playoffs for Sakic. He would make up for that the next year. 2000-2001, if you're an Avs fan, you remember this is the last year they won the Stanley Cup. They were very good in the regular season as well, 52, 16, 10, and 4. In the first round, they sweep the Vancouver Canucks. In the second round, they beat LA in a very good 7-game series. And then in the conference final, they beat St. Louis in 5 to get to the Stanley Cup final where they met with the New Jersey Devils. The Devils, trying to win back-to-back cups, they fall in 7 games against Colorado in what was a great Stanley Cup final. Sakic that year, 82 games, plays every game, 54 goals, 64 assists, 118 points. In the playoffs, 21 games played, 13 goals, 13 assists for 26 points. So 2001-2002, very good team still. 45, 28, 8, and 1. First round, they beat LA in another 7-game set in the first round. Then they beat San Jose in 7 games in the second round. And in a 7-game series in the conference finals, they lose against their nemesis, the Detroit Red Wings. So Detroit and Colorado, lots of playoff meetings between 97 and 2002. And we as hockey fans were enriched for the experience. Sakic led him in scoring again, 82 games, 26 goals, 53 assists, 79 points. In 21 playoff games, 9 goals, 10 assists, 19 points. And this is where the drop-off starts to happen. They were 42, 19, 13, and 8 the following season, and in the first round, they lose in 7 against Minnesota. Minnesota Wild knock them out. Peter Forsberg led Colorado in scoring that year, 75 games, 29 goals, 77 assists for 106 points. In 7 playoff games, he records 2 goals and 6 assists. So we move on to the 03-04 season, the last year before we have the salary cap. They finished 40, 22, 13, and 7, so they won less than half of their games. But in the first round, they get revenge against Dallas. They beat them in 5 before falling in the second round against San Jose in 6. San Jose, a bit of a nemesis for them too, after they were done with Detroit. Sakic was the leading scorer again, 81 games, 33 goals, 54 assists, 87 points. In 11 playoff games, 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points. So now we go into the salary cap era in 2005. In 05-06, they finished 43, 30, and 9. So again, not a tremendously great record, but they still knew how to beat Dallas. They knocked out Dallas in the first round in 5. And in the second round, they get swept. Yeah, they get swept by the Anaheim Ducks. Joe Sakic leads them in scoring again. Not really a surprise there. 82 games, 32 goals, 55 assists, 87 points. So his numbers are almost identical to the year before. And in 9 playoff games, he adds 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points. So Sakic, very, very good player throughout this run. Only one time he wasn't the leading scorer. Now, if Forsberg had been healthier, might have given some challenge, some more of a challenge to Sakic for that top spot in scoring. 06-07, they actually missed the playoffs, even though their record isn't bad. 44, 31, and 7. No playoffs. Joe Sakic leads them in scoring again. 82 games, and what a season. 36 goals, 64 assists, 100 points. And Sakic seemed to just keep getting better as he got older. That would start to tail off, though, as he was not going to be their leading scorer again. 2007-2008, again, they finished 44, 31, and 7. Same record, but they make the playoffs this time. They finish above that playoff line and get their revenge on the Minnesota Wild in a 6-game series in the first round. Second round, they get swept again. This time it's by Detroit. So Detroit, that's twice that Detroit's beaten them. That one was a 7-game series. This one's a 4-game series. Stastny led him in scoring that year. 66 games, 24 goals, 47 assists, 71 points. Stastny in the playoffs, 9 games, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. 08-09, they fall back out of the playoffs. They finished 32, 45, and 5. So this is easily the worst record they'd had to this point from 1999 until now. Milan Hajduk is their leading scorer. 82 games, a low high score of 27 goals, 32 assists, just 59 points for their leading scorer that year. 2009-2010, a bounce back happens. They finish 43, 30, and 9. They make the playoffs, but San Jose's waiting for them, and San Jose knocks them out in 6. So Stastny leads them in scoring again. 81 games, 20 goals, 59 assists for 79 points. In 6 playoff games, he adds a goal and 4 assists. 2010-2011, they're still outside they're outside the playoffs again, I should say. So they're doing what Philadelphia's been doing for a while. In the playoffs, in and out, in, and then they're out again in 2010-2011, but they'd be out for a while after. So 30, 44, and 8's their record. Matt Duchene's their leading scorer. 80 games, 27 goals, 40 assists, 67 points. 2011-2012, they finished 41, 35, and 6. Decent record, but no playoffs. Ryan O'Reilly, their leading scorer that year. 81 games, 18 goals, 37 assists, 55 points. Then we get the lockout shortened season of 2012-2013 and a not very good record for Colorado. 16, 25, and 7. So they finish outside the playoffs yet again. Parenteau ends up being their leading scorer. In 48 games, he has 18 goals, 25 assists, 43 points. P.A. Parenteau was a pretty good offensive player. 2013-2014, this was the year the analytics community came for them. They finished 52, 22, and 8, even though all the analytics would tell you they were terrible. And then in the first round, they lost against Minnesota in 7, which caused the analytical community to say, see, we knew that this was going to happen. Duchene was the leading scorer, 71 games, 23 goals, 47 assists for 70 points. He only plays 2 playoff games, though, out of the 7. He has 3 assists in those 2 games. 2014-2015, they fall back out of the playoffs. So this 2013-2014 season is kind of a mirage. Iginla was their leading scorer that year. 82 games, 29 goals, 30 assists, 59 points. There's at least one person watching this video who's going to say, I had forgotten Iginla played for Colorado. 2015-2016, their record drops a bit here, 39, 39, and 4. Their wins total's the same, but they didn't lose as many in overtime or shootouts. Matt Duchene's the leading scorer again in 76 games, 30 goals, 29 assists for 59 points. 2016-2017, this is where the team reaches bottom. And this is where Joe Sakic, who is now the general manager, is under a lot of pressure. They finished 22, 56, and 4. Nathan MacKinnon's their leading scorer. 82 games, 16 goals, 37 assists for 53 points. And there's trades being made here. The Matt Duchene trade, which has been out there for a long time, finally takes place. And there's some debate about how good it is and what's going to happen. But 2017-2018 marks a change in fortune for the Colorado Avalanche. They finished 43, 30, and 9. They do lose in the first round against Nashville in 6, but you can see this team's getting better. Nathan MacKinnon is a huge part of the reason this team's getting better. MacKinnon, who had been seen as a disappointment since his draft year, since his rookie year, at this point he starts to finally realize that potential. 74 games, 39 goals, 58 assists, 97 points. In 6 playoff games, 3 goals and 3 assists. So MacKinnon is a playoff performer and very good at producing a lot of points. 2018-2019, they finished 38, 30, and 4. Barely make the playoffs. And then, in the first round, they knock out Calgary in 5. Calgary came in with a lot of momentum and a lot of hype, but Colorado took them aside, and then they lost in the next round against San Jose in 7 in a very controversial series. MacKinnon leads them in scoring again, 82 games, 41 goals, 58 assists to finish with 99 points, one short of 100. In 12 playoff games, 6 goals, 7 assists for 13 points. Again, MacKinnon's very good in the playoffs, but until they get past that second round, there's going to be that question about MacKinnon. 2019-2020, they finished 42, 20, and 8. Of course, this is the season that's shortened by the pause. In the first round, they play Arizona, and they win 4-1. It would have been a sweep if it wasn't for Kemper stealing a game in there. And then in the second round, they surprisingly lost in 7 against Dallas. Surprisingly, because they were down 3-1. They were down to Hutchinson, their number 3 goaltender, and suddenly they started winning, and it was this close to them taking out Dallas. MacKinnon, 69 games that year, 35 goals, 58 assists, 93 points. He hasn't reached that 100-point mark yet, but he has been very, very close. 15 games in the playoffs for MacKinnon, 9 goals, 16 assists, 25 points in those 15 games. And he had a point in every single game, I believe, until that last game against Dallas where he was held off the score sheet. 2020-2021, they finished 39-13-4. Absolutely fantastic regular season. In the first round, St. Louis did not challenge them. It was a 4-game sweep. And then in the second round, Vegas. They stomped Vegas in the first game, and then Vegas took that personal and takes them out in 6. Rantanen's the leading scorer that year. 52 games, 30 goals, 36 assists, 66 points. In the playoffs, 10 games, 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points for Rantanen. So their overall picture is one of a team that wins a cup here, goes through a drought, and now they've been an excellent regular season team that 3 years in a row have lost in the second round. But we've seen teams go through that before that have broken through and won a Stanley Cup. I still think eventually Colorado wins another Stanley Cup, and I think it'll be in the MacKinnon era, but we'll see, right? Their all-time leading scorer in the playoffs is going to be Joe Sakic. 160 games, 77 goals, 100 assists for 177 points. Forsberg, 134 games, 56 goals, 97 assists for 153 points. Milan Hajduk, 112 games played, 34 goals, 42 assists for 76 points. And then you get into the guys who are currently on the team, starting with MacKinnon, who's actually 4th on the all-time scoring in 50 games, 28 goals, 41 assists, 69 points. And then you get to Rantanen, who's a ways down in the all-time scoring, 43 games, 18 goals, 34 assists, 52 points. Landeskog, 49 games, 16 goals, 29 assists, 45 points. Remarkably, Cale Makar has already played 35 playoff games, has 7 goals, 24 assists, 31 points. Makar could be the guy who ends up holding up the Conn Smythe when this team eventually wins the Stanley Cup. And I think with the amount of talent this team has, it should only be a matter of time until they hold up the Stanley Cup yet again. But we'll see, right? It is a fascinating history. And, of course, for fans of the Quebec Nordiques, it was kind of tough to watch in 96. And then again in 2001 as they watched the fans in Denver get what they desperately had wanted in Quebec, which were those Stanley Cups. But, yeah, so Colorado, when did they get that 3rd? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.